Let's understand how habits are formed and how they're broken. Take, for example, the habit of smoking. If you prefer, even take up another habit that interests you more. Suppose smoking has become a problem for me and I want to quit. As long as smoking gave me satisfaction, I didn't worry in the slightest. But now this habit causes me problems, it creates problems for me, and so I have to do something. Smoking makes me sick, and so I want to quit. I want to free myself from this habit. This means that I resist and condemn it. I no longer want to smoke, and now my intention is to suppress this habit or replace it with another, which could be chewing gum. But can I observe my problem without condemning it, without justifying it, without trying to suppress it? Hey, this is Phoenix's way. Remember to register on the channel and activate the bell to receive all the special episodes. Can I observe the fact that I smoke without rejecting it? Try doing it right now while we're talking about it, and you will see how difficult it is to stop accepting or rejecting. The tradition in which we grew up, all the conditioning we have undergone, do nothing but push us to accept or reject, rather than arouse in us a curiosity towards the fact. Instead of remaining passive in the face of a problem, observing it with extreme attention, the mind always tries to intervene to act on it. Isn't it essential that there be constant renewal, continuous rebirth? If the present is suffocated by yesterday's experiences, there will be no renewal. Renewal does not have to do with birth and death. It is beyond opposites. It comes with freedom from all the memories that constitute memory. There can be no understanding except in the present. The mind understands the present only when it stops comparing, judging, and it is the desire to modify or condemn the present without understanding it, which gives continuity to the past. There is renewal only if we understand the reflection of the past, which appears without the slightest distortion in the mirror of the present. If you have lived an experience completely to the end, have you noticed that it leaves no trace behind? Only an incomplete experience leaves a mark and gives continuity to memories and identification with them. For us, the present is only a means to an end, thus we miss its immense meaning, the present and the eternal. But how does a mind, which is a set of many parts, understand something that cannot be constructed, that surpasses any value and that is eternal? Whatever experience presents itself to you, live it as fully and profoundly as possible. Reflect on it, feel it as deeply as you can. Be aware of the pleasure or pain it brings you, how you judge it, and how you identify with it. Only when an experience is lived to the full, then there is renewal. We must learn to experience all 4 seasons in one day. Be deeply aware, experience, understand, and be free from everything that accumulates every day. Have you ever thought about it? We can be writers, poets, painters, politicians, or singers, but whatever we do, we want to be famous at all costs. Why? Because we don't actually love what we do. If we really loved singing, painting, or writing poetry, we wouldn't care at all about becoming famous. That is, achieving fame is a vulgar, stupid, meaningless thing, but since we don't love what we do, we need notoriety to feel satisfied. The education we receive is corrupt because it teaches us to love success and not what we do. The result has become more important than the action. You know, it's a good thing to keep your talent hidden, to remain unknown, to love what you do without boasting about it in the slightest. It's nice that you are kind without anyone knowing. This will not allow you to become famous, it will not get your photograph in the newspapers, politicians won't come knocking on your door, but you will be creative human beings, capable of living without any need to be recognized. This way of life brings with it extraordinary richness and beauty. If you enjoyed the trip, share it for those who are going through a period of creative block or are looking for popularity. Activate the bell and leave me a comment about your experience. Creativity has nothing to do with the results that a technique allows you to achieve. You can achieve perfection in playing the piano and still not be creative. You can play the piano beautifully and yet not be a musician. You can be very skilled at handling colors and arranging them on a canvas with great care, even if you're not a true painter. You can paint a face or sculpt a statue because you have technically learned how to do it, and all, however, there may be no creativity in you. Creativity comes before any technique, and precisely because we don't know what creativity is, we live miserably. We know how to build a house, build a bridge, assemble an engine. We have produced various educational systems with which we raise our children. We know these techniques well, but our hearts and minds are empty. We are extraordinary machines, we know how to function wonderfully, but we are incapable of loving something that is alive. Although you may become good engineers, skilled pianists, or may be able to write in beautiful style, in English, Spanish, or another language, no technique will ever allow you to discover creativity. If you have something to say, you will create your own style for saying it. But if you have nothing to say, even if you are capable of using a wonderful style, what you write will be only a repetition, a repeating of an old speech with different words. Since there is no song in our hearts, we hope to learn the singing technique from those who sing, but the song isn't there. We've lost it, and I say that song is essential. The joy of singing is essential. When there is that joy, you will build the technique from scratch, you will invent it, you will have no need to study a particular style. When there is that joy within you, then you see. And being able to see beauty is an art. There are no methods for knowing ourselves. Searching for a method inevitably involves the desire to obtain a result, which is what we all want. We accept the authority of a person, of a system, of an ideology, because we expect to obtain a satisfactory result, which serves to give us security. In reality, we do not want to understand ourselves, our impulses, our reactions, the entire thought process, whether on a conscious or unconscious level. We prefer to adapt to a system that gives us the certainty of a result. But it is precisely our desire for security, our desire to have certainties, that generates the need to follow a system. What follows, of course, is not understanding ourselves. When we follow a method, we must necessarily accept an authority, the teacher, the guru, the savior, the master, who guarantees us that we will get what we want. But this is certainly not the way to know ourselves. Authority prevents us from understanding what we are. Feeling protected by an authority, by a guide, you can experience for some time a certain sense of security, of well-being, but this will not lead you to understanding everything that we are. By its very nature, authority prevents full awareness of ourselves and therefore ultimately makes freedom impossible. Only in freedom can there be creativity. Therefore, creativity is only possible through knowing ourselves. I've created a path to achieve your autonomy that you can follow for free on this channel. Self-observation is a path that no one can show you, because it's not about techniques or programming. It's about you, about observing yourself. When you engage with others, are you truly conscious, or are you simply identifying with the situation? When anger arises, are you aware of it, or do you become one with your anger? Do you subsequently study your experiences, trying to understand their origin and meaning? This self-awareness is the gateway to true transformation. Only what you understand can be changed. What you do not grasp or remain unaware of remains unchanged. But once you understand it, you change. My friend, this is Phoenix's way.